Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So Mitch McConnell is officially done. He's stepping down as the leader of Senate Republicans at the end of the year. This is absolutely huge. We have waited for this moment for a very long time, but apparently he at least can acknowledge that the writing is finally on the wall. And when it comes down to repealing and replacing the Republican establishment, we are far ahead of schedule, folks, and that's a very good thing. Not just the Republican establishment, but more notably, the Mick establishment, as so many people have eloquently put it, because you have just over the past 5 months, basically. The past 5 months, we have seen Kevin McCarthy get ousted by a Freedom Caucus-led effort and replaced with a better speaker in Mike Johnson, who may not be 100% perfect, but is a lot better than Kevin McCarthy, isn't just bending over backwards for the Biden agenda at every single opportunity. And I think he's somebody who would be an even better speaker that would help Trump pass through his agenda if Donald Trump gets in there early next year. Also, Ronna McDaniel, one of the worst RNC chairs that we have seen, she officially is gone. Ronna Romney McDaniel, she's now out of the way. You can thank Vivek Ramaswamy for kind of leading that push as well. And I think that him kind of being in Trump's orbit has kind of led Trump and a lot of his allies to pressure her to step down. And she's likely going to be replaced with North Carolina GOP chairman Michael Whatley, who's going to be a lot more competent. But the RNC's going broke because nobody wants to give the incompetent RNC any money. And that's going to change pretty shortly here. And then Mitch McConnell, who has basically been this doormat for the Biden agenda, has been a doormat for Ukraine and sending all of this foreign aid to Zelensky. He's worse than he was before. Before, people would at least say he's holding the line, judges this, judges that, which again, in regards to judges, they've been pretty mid overall. You've gotten a few good ones, but I mean, in terms of these Supreme Court justices, they're not as good as they possibly could be. And we know that all these judges that he's been touting, oh, we got the judges done. Some of them have been decent, some not so much. But either way, you're looking at what's happening there. Mitch McConnell's a train wreck. It's a very good thing to see him go. He represents the old guard. He is a globalist. He has intentionally sabotaged Republicans with his own incompetence. And that we know. You can look directly at the 2022 midterms to see this. It wasn't just McCarthy and McDaniel, it was also McConnell. Talk about these Senate elections. Mitch McConnell did everything in his power to spend money in the dumbest way possible. He put a lot of money into a state like Alaska so Lisa Murkowski would save her seat. She's a rhino. She was going up against an actual conservative, an actual Republican. Lisa Murkowski's from Alaska. She votes like she's a Republican senator from Connecticut. She is not a Republican whatsoever. She's a Republican in name only by every stretch of the term. She is a rhino. He spent tens of millions of dollars defending her from an actual Republican. She only got by like 19,000 votes. That money could have gone to Nevada. If all that money just went to Nevada, you would have Senator Adam Laxalt. And he also put a lot of money into states that had no business getting a lot of money, like Ohio, Missouri, Florida, South Carolina, Alabama. All that money could have gone towards Georgia. And if you would have gotten Nevada and Georgia, in round one, that is in Georgia, you would have had the Senate. But he said before the midterms that he did not expect to win in 2022. Which kind of leads me to believe that he was wish-casting his own defeat. He wasn't caring about trying. He was just trying to protect the status quo because he likes being in the minority. He likes governing from the minority. He's basically the, leader of the Washington Generals in the Senate. He will, eventually cave on everything, just give the Democrats everything they want and go from there. He doesn't like being in the majority because he's not a leader. And when he has led, he really hasn't led all that well, and that we can see. He's a part of the Uniparty. He is somebody who's a career globalist, and partially why the Senate is as swampy on the Republican side as it is, because you look at the House, and yeah, you have a few rhinos here and there, but House Republicans are a lot better overall than they are in the Senate. You have your Freedom Caucus. In the Senate, you have, Vance, you have Hawley, you have a few decent people there, people that are good on some things and meh on others. You have your Rand Pauls, your Ted Cruzes. I mean, you have another, few decent senators like Mike Lee, but then you have a lot of weak, tenured dinosaurs, globalists, neocons, rhinos, you name it. McConnell's like the epitome of those people, and now he's out of the way. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to step down entirely. He's not necessarily going to just quit and throw in the towel and resign and retire, but him stepping down as leader, that is extremely important. And when you look at this guy's favorable rating, when it comes down to the brand of the Republican Party, Mitch McConnell is the biggest detriment to them. You look at this. He only has a 21% favorable rating. That is half of Trump's. That is lower than any other major political figure in the country. And his unfavorable rating is the highest. He is disapproved of by more than Kamala Harris, more than Joe Biden is. He is a total unmitigated disaster. And he's partially why the GOP has had a brand issue in a lot of places. That's why Republicans have struggled in some of these elections more so than what a lot of people are giving credit for. And because he's stepping down, that's a very, very good thing. And he's saying it's because of old age. We know that he possibly doesn't like governing in the majority. He's citing some potential health issues. He has these Biden-esque moments from time to time where he just freezes up. He's done it like 3 times already. But what I think it does show is that he is somebody who at least has the political acumen to understand that Donald Trump is probably going to win the 2024 election. And Mitch McConnell is somebody who does not want to have to face a leadership election. He knows that Donald Trump is going to raise hell regarding a potential McConnell Senate leadership tenure where he's Senate Majority Leader. He does not want to deal with that, and vice versa. So what Mitch is doing here, he's basically just taking the easy way out. He's stepping down. He's hoping that he can get a Mitch-like successor in there, which is a whole nother question that needs to be addressed. Who will succeed Mitch McConnell as Senate Majority Leader? And we hear about Rick Scott. He ran against Mitch McConnell. He's not the longest tenured senator. He's still technically in his first term. I don't necessarily believe that he's going to run again. There's also rumors that Trump has lobbied for Steve Daines, although Steve Daines is very busy with the whole NRSC leadership. We don't know if he's going to stay the chairman in the next Congress, but still, I'm not entirely sure it's going to be Daines either. What does this exactly mean? Well, it's probably going to be one of the 3 Johns. And some people will say, well, why can't we get a Senate Majority Leader Vance or Hawley? And as great as that would be, they wouldn't really just have the votes for it. You kind of have to work within the system to get the best possible result. I think we saw that in the House leadership where we couldn't even get Jim Jordan to be Speaker, although Mike Johnson, not really all that bad given the other options. And that's kind of what we need to look at in terms of the Senate. It's going to be one of the 3 Johns, most likely. This Newsweek article kind of aggregated it. This is from last July, but it's pretty much the same in terms of the lay of the land here and now. And you can look at this, and the options are John Thune, who Donald Trump called Mitch's bitch. John Thune, however, has endorsed Donald Trump in the 2024 election, but still, Donald Trump did call for him to be primaried ahead of 2022, even though a challenger never really materialized. And it just doesn't exactly appear like he's going to have the full support of it. I don't believe Trump would endorse Thune at this point, especially given Thune's proximity to Mitch McConnell. But furthermore, John Cornyn is also on this list. John Cornyn's kind of outed himself as a rhino. He's weak on the border. He's somebody who supported gun control recently, and he's senator of Texas. Like, if a Democrat even supports gun control in Texas, it's over for them. We saw that time and time again with the whole Beto O'Rourke experiment. And John Cornyn takes those positions kind of as a Republican. He caves to Biden's agenda. So does McConnell regarding the spending bills, etc. It's partially why he's so bad as a opposition leader or a leader in general. John Cornyn is somebody who's very much in line with Mitch McConnell. He likely is going to go for it, but I don't believe he's really going to get a lot of support. He might get like a few senators voting for him, but I just don't see him having the widespread appeal to win this thing, especially as he'll be running against somebody that's similar to him in terms of John Thune. So that leaves one other John. Technically, there are more Johns in the Senate. There's also John Neely Kennedy. Doesn't really seem like he's going to be going for it, but it is the theme with the three Johns. John Barrasso is the other John, and he's somebody who I wouldn't say is like perfect or ideal, but he's a lot better than these others. He's the best realistic option, in my opinion, that Republicans have. And he's been pretty conservative overall on the issues. He has a good relationship with Donald Trump. I think he would not really serve as an inhibitor to Donald Trump's agenda. He would be much better than Mitch McConnell. And I hope he does become Senate Majority Leader. Of the realistic options that we have, more people could run. That could change. But right now it seems as if Barrasso is kind of like the front runner, and I think it's a good thing because you would get a sizable upgrade over Mitch McConnell, even if Barrasso was not entirely perfect. But if you look at all the legislation that Cornyn caves on, that Thune caves on, Barrasso does not cave on it nearly a fraction of the amount as these other people do. So that's kind of the way that it is. So we'll have to see what happens. But either way, this is amazing news. He knows that he doesn't represent the party anymore, and he's just at a point in his career where he just doesn't want to deal with the drama. He'll probably quietly serve the last 2 years of his term, and then he will just retire, step down, go away. Kentucky can actually have that MAGA senator that it deserves for being such a, Trump-friendly state. It voted for Trump by 30 points, but their senator is Mitch McConnell of all people. It's a disaster, but nevertheless, we'll see what happens. 2024, he's going to be stepping down by the end of the year. In the new Congress, you're going to have a much better Senate Majority Leader because that map is foolproof, and that we know. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.